Hey, okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Jankyard. I am your host, The Treatment. Welcome to Collection 2023 Top 8 round. This is exciting. Please let me know in the comments if you can see or hear me. I am currently messing around with OBS and trying to include a new co-host, Ninja, over here. And so I had some technical difficulties. But yeah, tonight Chaos Theory and Impossible German are suffering a little bit from a case of overhypeitis. And last night's header was really great. Tonight we are going to be watching probably the hypest mirror match of the century, if not at least just the collection this week. Yeah, I'm going to just send out the link quickly, I think, or if actually someone can else do that for a clue, then we're going to get started here. Give me a second to see if I can bring in my co-host. So let's see here. If we get out of this, we're going to be, oops. Let's see. Oh boy. Ninja, I might have to exclude you. I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah, but I got an issue right now where it's not even showing Ash Techie, so that always is less than yeah, because I have it full screen, but yeah, it's not showing. So give me a second here. Oh my goodness. This is why you don't do things, like I said, last minute. Nah, that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna figure things out. It's just a little more tough. Oh, under rug swept. He's looking. Oh, join the new game. Yeah. Yeah. They had their own issue where it wasn't working. And so yeah. So let's try and get. See, we got Ash Techie now showing, except it's not showing correctly, so that's always fun. There we go. And we'll bring the decks over. Boom. By the way, if you want to check Ninja, just to make sure we're all good, then I will be able to tell if I can bring you in the picture. Yeah. And send a note out to whoever else. Yeah. Let's try and do this. There we go. I got you at least. I just need to fix you. Sorry, everyone. This is the first time I'm doing a co-host video thing, so here we go. Let's shrink it down. Yeah, exactly. All right. At least that looks a little bit better. We're side by side. You're much bigger than me, which, you know, that's fair. Here we go. How's that looking? There, we got both of us. We're good to go, I think. We can start the game, and I'll play with the video later. Anyway, I'll let the guys know. So yeah, this is very exciting. On one side of the match, we have the imitable King of Coal, the embodiment of Meteor, Mr. Mbauers. And on the other side, we've got the man who has swept all other players in Phoenix League with, I think, the most wins, 32. The Thunder from Down Under, Mr. Underrug Swept. And we're going to get started in what should be a very exciting match. I have the decks up on screen, but I'm going to just fix those a little bit as well so that we can see them a little bit better. Yeah, this is fun. All right, so there we go. I'm a little bit bigger now. We're on it. I will also try to keep the discard piles in the scene. It's a little harder. I had everything set up for a one-man show here, but we should be able to see enough of the information now. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, that's... It's disconnected again, so hopefully we can do this. Yeah, I have the list up on the screen, the Terran Virtue. It is... I mean, I don't remember, obviously, exactly what was in it, but it seems very much like Kyla's Hydra list. He was the world champion from the Shuffle Bus era not last year, 2 years ago, or I guess at the end of last year, so a little while ago. And yeah, it's very sort of classic cards. It's got the Frostback, it's got Gilder, it's got Lightbringer, sort of the three mainstays of Ashes, and then it's got Hydra, and a little bit of reach with Molten Gold, and then a lot of removal, a ton of removal, really. And then if I switch over, we've got Matt, who, I mean, he's also one of the greatest players. In 1.0, he was the champion. He tends to love armored lists, which is why we at least see one root armor here. Odette, he's got, again, the Frostback Baron, Gilder, and this time with some Chant of Transfusion, which is both removal and, heal, or pseudo heal, I guess, for your units. And then he's just got, like, really good stuff. I mean, he's got Beast Tamer, Blood Archer, Hammer Knight for a lot of pressure. The Old Salts obviously work really well with Transfusion. Phoenix Attendant for healing. And then he's, got a lot of removal as well. So they're similar, but they're very different. Oh. Yep. Oh, sorry. Jeremy Delaporte, I think that's Chaos Theory. He was saying that we couldn't hear you, and I think it's because I may have had you muted. Could you, let's see, say something? I'll check your audio level. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. I had to, 1 second. Let me just switch your audio over here. Now I got you. I think.
Can people hear me now?
Oh, spiking.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit too loud. So we've got an interesting early attack from the Frostback Bear into the Swordsman. I wonder what's going on there, because that alert unit, I'm immediately thinking that's going to get a lot of value from being able to attack with alert. I'm guessing there's going to be some direct damage coming in then, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's also got the Gilder and Sources of Ping if he played... That's an interesting early attack. Usually you don't see something like that and that aggressive, so that's cool.
So maybe Odette is going to go super aggressive. I say Odette, they're both playing. mbauers is going to go super aggressive, deal the 2 damage with Enter the Fray onto the Sonic Swordsman. Yep, there we go. Okay. Just going to trade face damage for the kill on the Sonic Swordsman there. Not really a play I was expecting, but a very interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, Matt is really good at understanding when and how to trade. And sometimes I watch his games and I think, why didn't he guard, or, why didn't he attack or anything? And you end up seeing the value later on. I guess that's true of all the great players, Brian, things like that, Carl, is some of their decisions are not necessarily ones I would make, obviously, because I'm not one of the top players. But you see the slow incremental advantage pay off much later. And that's something that is, I think, hard to learn just by watching a game. Sometimes you really have to put in your reps with the game itself, but also with certain lists.
Definitely. The ice trap here onto the Gilder, not necessarily as much of a sting as normal because it's a 1 dice trade, but then you still get the Gilder ping. And then the ping going on the Beast Tamer, I think, is super interesting as well, because this attack with the Frostback Bear isn't going to be enough to kill the Beast Tamer with the tame 1. So again, I'm wondering, where's that 3rd point of damage coming from?
Well, yeah, I mean, Matt still has his guard up. And so now that the Beast Tamer is exhausted, he can actually swing at it. I'm wondering if, because there's still the Lightbringer, and now that the guard is down, either he gets a free kill on the Lightbringer, or they do trade, and then the Chant of Transfusion token is up to help clear the damage from the Tamer. Yeah, so this is kind of a predictable match. And the Tamer has heal 1, so if he does use Chant of Transfusion by the end of the round, then it'll be back to full health for round 2. No, he just lets it go.
Oh, I see. I think the attack with the Beast Tamer was to avoid the Enter the Fray, just killing it.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. Okay, so this is a very aggressive round 1. I was not expecting them to come out punching like this.
All of these trades and attacks are very aggressive. Lots of aggressive use of Enter the Fray, and also like a fear of the Enter the Fray getting too much value. So really interesting plays from both players here.
For sure. So let's see. Are there any comments right now? We've got, I think it's from the Jankyard, so it could be Schmendrix or Killer saying, yo, let's knock this game out before Taekwondo starts. And then Chaos Theory said he had a moment to pop in. Couldn't hear you. I think we fixed that. No one has said anything since. And then his wife got back home, so he popped out. All right, Old Salt Classic. There we go. Yeah. So this is
potentially threatening a lot of value with the Chant of Transfusion.
Yep. Yeah, well, it's an easy kill, and then Lightbringer is going to come out. Now, also because of the Chant Fusion, you can't use Enter the Fray on the Old Salt.
Mm-hmm.
But he does have to swing. So actually, this Old Salt is going to die. But that's okay, because you take the swing, and then you're going to take the 2 damage no matter what.
I wonder, is that an ice trap in hand unplayed because Rugswept didn't want to ice trap the Ritualist?
Sorry, can I? Yeah, we can see the discard piles. And since Odette only has 3 spell board, we can actually...
Nope, it's a Raptor Herder.
Scooch it over. Okay.
It's an interesting board state. Pretty even, I would say, here. Potentially favoring under Rugswept with just 1 more unit and the guard here for the same damage.
All right, so we've got Shadowfire. He can hear us both now, and he's in a place that he can type, and not seeing stuff isn't a problem for me, so good job commentating. Yeah, so as we have Shadowfire, sometimes I make a mistake of not mentioning what is actually being played or on the board or what the life states are, and I just got to remind myself to do that. Welcome, Shadow. And Carl is also in chat. He said if it is an ice trap, he should have met it up, I'm guessing, to a frog. Probably Raptor, though, yeah. So he called it just as it was being played. Now, let me switch over to Underrug's list. He has 2 swordsmen in the bin. That's all he has. So the swordsmen are gone. Once he loses the herder, that's it for allies. He's on books only, and then the Hydra. I wish I had known that in my game versus him.
Yeah, no recursion here. No, even in Divine, no shepherds. So as you say, it's all down to the books then. And of course, the Shining Hydra.
Yeah. And that obviously is draw dependent, so hopefully he does draw into it. Whereas on Matt's side, he's lost, 3 allies, but he does have many more to go. So he's got 6 others that could come out with, including the Ritualist that's already on the board. He's got 10 allies, so that's a lot of units. And the Gilder book, if he draws into it, it was interesting that he chose not to go that route as well. I don't know. For me, I'm not a player that is comfortable really playing on just one book, but he believes obviously in the ability to draw the knights and keep them alive. So here we go. Massive growth. Yep. This is a classic aggressive, I'm ready to, punch big. And there's
no call to action potential here for a double attack. So this might not be a good trade depending on what this Frostback Bear has to attack into.
Yeah. I guess what what? What?
Here we are, Collection 2023, and it's a ritualist with a root armor.
Yeah, Carl said, what a risk if there is a Sword of Virtue. That is a huge risk, especially because he doesn't have Golden Veil anymore.
Very true.
Or he doesn't have the dice for it. And root armor on a ritualist. I mean, that is next level play. Why would he do that? He just worried about ping?
I think it's just all about these trades being as efficient as possible. And with the Raptor Herder sitting out there, a big wide swing, I guess the Ritualist can block something and trade nicely without dying. I have no idea.
That would be the only, to stop the group
tactics. Or the hatchling. Yeah.
Swing. And because he also has the frog showing. So he could ping it away, then go for the big swing. The bear blocks the bear, and then you at least get 3 through. But now he can't do that. So that is a play that is next level. I mean,
these are really interesting plays, that's for sure.
This is very cool.
So that bear, the massive bear getting blocked by the regular bear, essentially the way I see it, that's just a complete trade between the two bears, but one of them's sort of almost pointlessly massive. I'm not sure if that's correct or not.
I don't think so. The only reason I would be that aggressive swinging with a massive bear into another bear and not trying for other removal is if he has Sword of Virtue to refresh it.
Of course, Sword of Virtue is the refresh. There's no snake for a call to action, but you're right. Sword of Virtue will do the job.
And then that way it's not only going to take out the bear. So you're trading effectively the cost of massive growth for the bear, but then you're refreshing it and aiming for that actual 6 damage hit, which would put Matt at 7. So that's a good advantage. The question is whether he can stay ahead on board. The Lightbringer, I think, might be an issue now for Matt. He doesn't have any other unit on board that can sort of just soak up the attack. So whatever he does, he's going to get pulled out of position.
That's true. And 7 is a magic number with the Hydra, because it can get to 7 pretty easily with the massive growth. So if you have your opponent on 7 health, I know as the Hydra player, you're looking at a potential single swing with a Hydra to kill and win the game.
Now, what would be really interesting is if Matt had been holding on to his own Sword of Virtue and plays it now to waste a lot of value on Underrug's side. I mean, he would effectively have lost all of the value of massive growth, loses his own Sword of Virtue, loses the bear. That would be a really hard hit for him if he was sort of holding on to it. But he doesn't. He just plays an old salt. So now this is, I think, potentially an issue for him.
Yeah, we'll see the Lightbringer presumably here to then nullify this 2 attack blocker.
Yeah, exactly. This was my issue with facing Underrug is once you do have the massive bear online and you know that there's at least he does have call to action. Yeah, at least 2 sources of refresh. That makes it really scary because you can't really swing out for fear of getting your other units Lightbringered out of position. And that 6 damage turns into 12 or 18 very quickly. All right.
There's the Golden Veil, though, on Enter the Fray. Okay, so they enter the fray was the first attempt to get rid of the blocker. Does that give Matt an opportunity to play another blocker to avoid the Lightbringer problem?
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Only 2 dice. Only two
on
dice,
2 dice, what does he play? There's nothing that he has in those 2 colors other than the Gilder, but that's already gone. So
Matt just passes there.
That's concerning. Matt might have drawn really poorly.
Yeah, that's true. It could be like another Golden Veil sitting in hand or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Clashing Tempers.
Clashing Tempers. Okay. Okay. Unfortunately, does he have redirect is what Carl is asking. He does not. He's just got 2 veils and 3 ice traps.
This is still going to have to be an attack from the old salt.
Yeah, and okay, he doesn't even want to trade it into the bear. That, I guess that makes sense. You're not going to kill it, and
yeah.
Okay.
Not on that face damage race, but instead just going for the kill.
So if you are Matt, you're planning for ultimately top of round, and you're trying to stabilize as much as possible, knowing that you're going to be only on 6 life.
Yeah. It's all about having as many 2 attack blockers as possible, I think, to avoid another massive bear problem, and then also just thinking about removal for that Hydra could be a real problem if it comes out in the next round.
Yeah, and he knows that Underrug doesn't have any other units. He's got no other threat. He can't do... But he does have Molten Gold. So Molten Gold puts him at 3. That's not quite GG, but he's in a bad position.
This could be a fast one. It depends on the draws with these 2 decks, I think.
Okay, so he's just going to play Gilder and put, I guess, a damage, on the old salts. Which really just, is going to stop Matt from doing anything to the Frostback Bear next round. Okay. Massive Growth falls off. The bear is still alive. And now we see Matt meditating. Double Molten would be really bad if that's the way he's going to end this game. All right, we're binning a Hydra.
That's where all those nature dice are coming from. If you have at least 4, that means you can potentially just Molten Gold. There you go. There's the game.
Yeah, so I think that's why. So if I just quickly look at the rug. So Underrug did have the Hydra last round. He chose to bin it.
Okay.
And he is hoping to just draw into the Molten Golds then. That would be my reason for drawing it. Not to mention, you have 3 in the deck. A really bad hand would be if you drew 3 of them, because that's True. 6 potential dice that might not actually get you the game win. And then it makes it really hard to actually spend on the rest of your board. So I think he's hoping that ideally, I guess you would draw either both Moltens, or you would draw 1 Molten and a Hydra maybe as a backup unit. So now we've got the bear coming down, which at least, can trade or hit for 2.
We've yet to see a discard or played a Sword of Virtue from Matt, so presumably still got that somewhere potentially in hand now.
Yeah, and Shadow's saying that he could have also just had 2 in hand, which is true. He could have drawn poorly and had 2 and then ditched 1, which is, that's fine. You really only need 1 good Hydra, but now at 6 life, I think the Molten Gold plan is scarier, because there's nothing in Matt's list that really stops it, although he does still have the Phoenix Attendants, which we haven't seen. So Matt can claw his way back into this. Call to action in the bin, Ice Trap in the bin. Okay.
And with another massive bear, you would have loved that call to action.
Yeah.
Maybe this time Matt will have the removal, but there's the meds up, so maybe there's another golden veil.
Yeah, so there's still a second call to action. There's a second crescendo still in the deck. Those alone can hurt. But Matt's sitting pretty nice with 3 units that can all block the bear.
The problem is those snake power dice. So if you can combine them with, say, a crescendo, you can potentially get through to face.
That's true. Not yet, though. He still has to remove at least 1.
That's true, yeah. There's still 2 attack blockers here. Oh, sorry, there's 3. There would be 2 after killing one with crescendo.
Yeah. Okay, so like I mentioned, Phoenix Attendant, now we're finally seeing it. That is going to at least put Matt out of double Molten range.
And the massive bear range as well.
Yes, that as well. The Lightbringer predictably comes down trying to pull something out of position. I'm almost wondering if you just swing with the Phoenix Attendant, because everything else can still block the bear and also, pressure guard a little bit better. Okay, he just ice traps the Lightbringer. That's fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that the Lightbringer effect still triggers here, right?
It does. It does. It's you're still forced to play as a main action the attack.
Yeah.
But let's see what Matt has. He's got Infuriate and Wallop. He does have the Frog Dice up, which means he could do a Wallop swing with the bear and then put the question onto Underrug whether he wants to block it with his own bear or whether he wants to take 4 damage.
Yep. Or do you just play pure defense here? Nope. Look, looks like you're right.
Well, he's not playing the Wallop though. He's just chipping. So you must have something else to deal with.
That Phoenix Attendant with that 1 healing from 7 to 6, I think, is a massive change there.
It's definitely, being able to get yourself out of the 2 threats gives him a lot more breathing room, especially knowing that he still has a lot of units. I mean, Matt still has a Hammer Knight that would really be a pain now that Lightbringer's gone. It's still so funny to me that there's just this fire-adapted, root-armored ritualist sitting there. Normally, at least in all my games, the ritualist is, unless it's a fallen game, the first thing to die, and you get the chant fusion token, and then you don't, you have to reestablish how you're going to get it the next round and the next round.
The retirement age just keeps getting higher and higher these days. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so it makes me think Crescendo is coming. Against the Old Salt. Yeah, exactly. Crescendo swing. So the question, that's why I wanted him to swing the Phoenix Attendant. And that
1 life.
That hurts. If he does have Molten now, Matt can't get out of range. He can at most heal up to 2, but that's not enough.
Yeah. And even with the healing, you probably still end up on 3 health in the next round. So the Molten's still giving you a lot of trouble there.
Right, at top of round. And, I just to be fair, you called exactly what he was going to do, which was Charm Power, 1 of the units, Crescendo. Matt's calling GG already. There it is.
There you go.
Wow. That was fast.
What an exciting... Yeah, that was really fast. GG, well played.
That was a very good game. Absolutely. Congratulations. Under Rug he was so, down last year. He was upset with his performance, and I think he started the year in the 1400s in the ELO board, and now I'm guessing that puts him in top 5 or top 4. Amazing.
Well, he was top 3 for a while there from all of those Phoenix League wins.
Yeah.
And now I think he's looking for that sort of tournament victory or that tournament success. So it's really cool to see that happening here.
That was a really great game. That was fast. That was, sort of exactly what each deck wanted to do. And in a game where you have big bypass and you want to punch quickly, it was really cool to see them coming out swinging. Round 3, and that makes it 26 dice, I guess.
I think I asked at the start of the game what was going to happen with the interactions between Golden Veil and Sword of Virtue. I guess the answer was play Sword of Virtue on your own unit. It can't be Golden Veiled.
Exactly. That was a good play. And Carl says that he's so proud of Underrug. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hard to say whether that Phoenix Attendant swing would have made anything different. I don't know what the last card in hand is. There's still another bear that Underrug could put down, and then he still had top of round swing. So maybe he would have finished off the 6 life anyway. But that was great.
2 very scary Odette lists for sure. And looks like the bypass kind of winning out there in that matchup.
Absolutely. And we didn't even, again, this is a list where Hydra it's like the threat of it makes you play a certain way, because if it does come down, it can ruin your day if you overexert your resources. And it never came up. It was just simply big bears.
It's always the classic, the massive bear. There's always that threat.
Yep.
And there's everything else that comes with it.
Shadow is asking how many charm dice are left in the pool. There is 1, and it's meted up. So it could have also been a call to action play. But Matt in chat, he's saying that he had no swords round 2 and only 1 in round 3, which he already assumed the Golden Veil would be there. So that is rough. Sometimes you do have to shoot your shot and play to your outs, even if you expect that they have the counter. But it was very fascinating, especially given how even round 1 was. And I think actually, if I recall correctly, Matt was ahead by a couple units. So now we're gonna have to get Schmendrix to do a graph of this game and see what it looks like.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we do have to save the chat log, I guess. I can do that before I dip out of the game. But the next game is, do you remember? I think it's tomorrow.
It'll be in that Phoenix League chat for sure. I can't remember.
Or maybe, you know what? I think it's Saturday, and then we don't know when.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, when the other one is. But hopefully.
That's right. TBD.
Yeah, TBD. If we, the Jankyard, are not streaming, then it will be Chaos Theory and Impossible German. Either way, you got to watch these games. It's very exciting. Top level Ashes play. If you haven't, like I said, watched the first 2 games between Shadowfire and Brian, and between killercactus and nosuchmethod, those games were insanely good. Very different games. All 3 of these games played very differently. Those 2 are on Chaos Theory's YouTube channel, and that's about it for tonight. Quick and easy.
Yeah, the games have been really fun to watch because of the all of these different styles of decks. And if you were just thinking, what are the competitive decks? What exists out there? Check out these games. I mean, there's so much to have a look at. And thanks for having me. Treatment. It's a pleasure.
Next time, we'll have the tech already working before we start the stream. So thank you very much, everyone, and have yourselves a good night. Frog up, wolf down. If you're not janky, you're stanky.
Yep.